I have been very fascinated with, spirituality, philosophy, happiness, life. So I took this word Happionaire and I simply went and registered a domain.
Have you ever wondered what it takes to be happy? And more importantly, if you are a salesperson, what is the right process or a right methodology to be not only achieving your goals, but also focusing on being happy and being satisfied with what you do? If you do not have the answer, let me tell you, my next guest, Yogesh Chabria, has all the answers. I've had fun conversation with Yogesh on his journey as an individual and an entrepreneur, and more importantly, how he's been able to create a very interesting company called Happionaire and the entire Happionaire way of not only being happy in life and also enabling and focusing on sales. He has been a master salesperson, has coached and trained many large organizations, and has not only been featured in TED Talk but many other international publications. If you want to know what it takes to be happy, or more importantly, be a great salesperson, you should not miss this podcast. Without much further ado, let me get on with it. Hi, Yogesh. Welcome to Masters Decoded Season 3. Really glad to have you on the show today.
Thank you so much, Anis, and my pleasure being here.
Yeah.
And Ramzan Mubarak to you and all our listeners and viewers and everybody.
No, thank you, and same to you. It's definitely a blessed month. It's a month of patience and test. I would use that word. So, no, thank you, and hope the peace continues globally. So, Yogesh, what intrigued me, and something which I know about you. I don't know how many listeners know. Yes, your followers, your individuals who know you would know, but there is a very interesting term you have coined. It's called the Happionaire Way. Do you want to give a little bit perspective of what the Happionaire Way is all about?
Sure. Anis, ever since a very young age, I have been very fascinated with, spirituality, philosophy, happiness, life. And when I was 14, I started meditating.
Okay.
Uh, that's another story, I was never eager to meditate or any of those things, but somehow, for whatever reason, at 14, I started meditating. And over time, in the beginning of our life, we are looking at, financial success, material success. So, I started working. I used to sell from a young age. Now, one fine day, I was sitting and meditating. I was around 21 or 22 years old. And suddenly this word came to me, Happionaire. It just came to me, and somehow I think we all get ideas. And sometimes it happens, you get an idea, and suddenly after 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you see, oh, I had this idea for a business or something. But luckily for me, I don't have a lot of, you know, I mean, I'm like a kid at heart. So I do things, and sometimes I'm not very sensible, and sometimes I don't have all the knowledge, but I just plunge in and do it. So I took this word Happionaire, and I simply went and registered a domain,
Okay.
happionaire.com. It was maybe 2007.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
2007, and I told my grandmother about it. I said, I've got this word, and I feel human beings, all of us, deep down, no matter who you are, whether you are a CEO, whether you are a billionaire, whether you are a movie star, an athlete, anybody, deep down, we all want to be happy. And deep down, whatever we do, there is this sense where we want to be happy from within. And that's how this came to me. And I just went and I registered a blog, a domain, and I simply started sharing ideas. And that's what the Happionaire Way is. I feel in life, happiness relates, if you want to be successful materially or professionally, or even, you are having this conversation, we are having this conversation, you're working, you're creating a product, you're running a company. For example, I work with the army, with the air force, with the navy. If you really want to excel at what you're doing, you need to be happy from within, and that will drive your relationships. If I'm not happy from within, if I'm constantly angry, if I'm constantly I have feelings of resentment. In my house, that's what the ambience will be, atmosphere will. Even when you're driving, you can see how some people drive. They are constantly angry, they are honking. You know, so it reflects. So that's what the Happionaire Way is about, and that's what it is.
So now we both have a common connection in some way. So I'll just tell a story. I'll take a couple of minutes.
Yeah, please take all the
I,
time.
no. I started meditating not so long ago, and when I say not so long ago, about 6 months ago. And I was a big non-believer of mindfulness practice. And I'm sure you would appreciate, you started as a child, but as a grown up, our minds, they say it's a monkey mind and it doesn't like to sit still. And my mind doesn't like to sit still. You know, I'll even other podcasts, if I have done recording, while the guest is talking, I would not be paying attention and I was be always running around from one place to another. But I have learned to calm my mind, and that has helped me reduce my anxiety, my emotional well-being, and be present in the moment, which has really helped me overcome a lot of anger and anxiety issues I always have. It's still not 100% there. We are always work in progress, as we say. But so something I can relate to. And there is a very, very interesting book. It's a New York best-time seller. It's called the Surrender Experiment, by Michael A. Singer. It has really opened my eyes. And what you did is let the life flow rather than trying to be in control of the life. Let the life flow. Like you got an idea and you said, okay, let me just flow with it. That's what the book is all about. And through his mindful practice, he was able to just surrender to life and let life be as it is rather than we trying to control it, being managing it. And how he gained happiness, how he gained peace. And today he's a billionaire. He's opened up multiple companies, and that's what happened to him. And that completely shocked me as an individual. So we'll double click on a lot of things what you just said, but I just wanted to throw this out there that I'm being a believer now, and I practice mindfulness every day, in whatever ways I can, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, more aware of my thoughts, more aware of my emotions, and I practice that on a daily basis. So no, that's a great connection the two of us have. So you said you started sharing ideas and all of that, but how did the entrepreneurial journey started?
Anis, I feel in life, challenges are really gifts. And sometimes when we are faced with a challenge, we want to blame, we think, why is this happening? Or, we're always looking to blame. But my journey into entrepreneurship, or I like to believe entrepreneurship starts with the ability to persuade, the ability to sell, started at a young age. So my grandparents are from Sindh.
Okay.
Partition happened, and when
Yep.
partition happened, they had to leave everything there. So they had a lot of material wealth. They had to leave everything there, and they came to India. And when they came to India, they started with nothing, because they couldn't bring anything. They had gold, they had lots of things. And even then, I remember, they were put, and the government called it refugee camps. So Ulhasnagar, or
Yep.
all of these. So even back in the day, they said, no, don't call us refugees. We are not refugees. So they petitioned, if you go and read about it, they petitioned with the government to not call them refugees and call them displaced people.
Hmm.
Because, the words define, they say, we have not come here for refuge. Because before partition, they were business people, they were wealthy. So in their head, they said, no, we have not come here for refuge. So your mindset matters a lot, and they said, call us displaced people. But growing up, we as kids used to sell a lot of things.
Yep.
So growing up, at the age of 5, I started selling toys,
Wow.
and I enjoyed the process. I loved it. And even in school, I would always be selling. So, I used to be selling comics, I used to be selling T-shirts, I used to be selling shoes. So ever since a young age, I've been selling. And that's how it started. My first larger deals happened, in real estate. So I used to do these real estate deals. But I've done everything, when it comes to, so I've stood at conferences, where you get paid by the day just to stand near a car.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
you
Wow.
get you get paid 1,000 rupees a day to stand the whole day from morning. So the first car I stood in front of was the Ford Endeavor in BKC. They'd launched it, and I would just stand there. And even then, I love the process of selling. I love it. So two people came, and we were supposed to only give a test drive. You're not supposed to sell for some strange reason. You're just supposed to show the car, but they wanted to buy it. So I called up the salesperson. I made those sales happen, and everybody around me were, Yogesh, you're not going to get a commission. You're not going to get promoted. I said, no, I enjoy what I do. So even if I don't make any more money, I still sold those cars, and the company is still around. It's an event company that did it. They're still in touch now. We do events with them. I do live events. But I think uh, if you look at business also as something where you're helping people, where you're enjoying, I enjoy the process of business. I used to do door-to-door selling. I've done door-to-door selling. So that's how it is. Some failures too. I started a solar company very long ago. It didn't do well.
Okay.
So that's how it is.
Your LinkedIn profile says you've been working for your entrepreneur journey is for 33 years. You don't look that old. So
I'm
I
not.
be
I'm not that old, But that's what I said. I started when I was 5.
Yeah. So that what I guessed that you
Yeah,
have taken your childhood experience and you've kind of said,
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. When I was 16, I had applied for a job. He said, how long? What's your experience? I told him. He didn't believe me. I said, no, I'll prove it to you. Let me sell something for you and give me a commission. So, and I think also kids, you should encourage kids because I feel kids have so much potential. If you look at, like you look at Mozart, for example.
yeah,
He started when he was so young. He started when he was 4. His
hmm,
father was a music teacher. He liked music. Now, I feel kids should be given the chance, to do what they want. So, for example, in school, if you encourage kids, whatever, I'm not saying they should go door to door selling, but if they enjoy business, if they enjoy selling, they should be encouraged
yeah.
uh, to do it.
So you started by selling toys and shoes and books at school. Then you started doing door-to-door sales, and I've seen some of your videos where you were selling variety of stuff door
Yeah,
to door.
I've sold everything. I've sold everything.
So what is the weirdest thing you've sold?
The weirdest thing I've sold are I have sold expired cigarettes.
Oh wow, okay.
I I was
Expired cigarettes. Cigarettes also
I,
have expiry, huh? I didn't know that.
we do
I
so.
don't smoke.
I don't smoke either, but I was in Tehran. I was born in Bombay, in Mumbai. That time it was Bombay, now it's Mumbai. But I grew up in Tehran and I'd gone for summer vacation there because I was doing college here. So I must be 16. And somebody had gifted my dad a box of cigarettes. Yeah.
Okay.
Back in the day, they would give cigarettes to people.
Yep.
Uh, now I don't think so many people do that. And he doesn't smoke. He just kept it, he just kept it. And I was just looking through, and whenever I go, I look through for stuff. I used to look through for stuff like what don't we need, what can I sell, and that was the biggest complaint teachers had against me. So I found this box. I think it was Benson and Hedges or 555.
Yeah.
A nice box, well packaged. So I just took that box and I went down on the street corner and there was this guy passing by in there's something called a vanet. It's like an open truck, selling.
Yeah.
I saw him smoking and I just put my hand. I said, hey, 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 stop. I was with my friend. I said, I have something great for you. And I showed him the cigarettes. I said, they are expired, but they are imported cigarettes. And would you want them? And I said, try some. And he somehow liked the packaging. He liked it, and I made a sale. Not that I recommend smoking to anybody, but he was anyway smoking, and so expired cigarettes. And I joke about it. Probably expired cigarettes won't harm you. If good cigarettes harm you, probably expired cigarettes won't harm you. I don't know about that, but I've sold expired cigarettes. Uh, I've sold to. I used to buy stuff at the factory outlet.
Okay.
Like brands, Benetton, Nike at the factory, you get 70, 80% off.
Yeah.
I used to take it with me to Tehran. I remember there was a T-shirt where the logo was defective. And the Nike logo was inverted, and I bought it like 80% off. And I sold it at a premium in Tehran because I said, this is rare, this is unique. I sold it to a friend of mine and he liked it. So lots of stuff. I sold real estate. I got into real estate development. We have done some projects in but these are some of the weird things I've sold.
So, you've been a salesperson all through your life.
Yeah.
And today, if I'm a sales guy too, by the way, as profession,
Yeah.
that's my corporate career. I lead a sales function. I drive sales forward. There is so much of unhappiness or unhappiness in when it comes to the sales function.
Yeah.
You know, Fortunately, unfortunately, I always tell my team, sales as an organization always gets measured by the numbers they get. That's the only function which is numbers driven.
Yeah.
Solely numbers driven. Everything else, every other function, I'm not saying is not numbers driven in a corporate sector, but sales is highly numbers driven. And there is unhappiness because everything is visible, right? And numbers are good, but they are bad because they show you the mirror where you stand. So how do you believe and how do you perceive, and you've been doing a lot of coaching and mentoring for sales team, I see that you have sales programs on your website as well. How do you build that happiness quotient when it comes to sales function?
So I'll tell you, for example, I'll share an example. We work with a company called Hare Krishna Group. Hare
Yep.
Krishna, around 12, 14,000 crore company, 10, 12,000 employees. They started from scratch. The founders have gone till the fourth grade only. You might have heard in Surat, they gave like 100 S classes, apartments to performers, of course. Now, we are doing some programs for them and all. And a common thing, if you look at sales, is two things. One is uh, from within, you have to truly believe in the product or service you're selling. You have to truly believe it. And because your energy is infectious. Even when I was selling those expired cigarettes, I believed those cigarettes would fulfill a need for that guy because he was smoking.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe these cigarettes are, great. My belief, now whether that belief is real, created by my imagination, doesn't matter to me, right? But from within, so when I reach out to somebody, I need to truly have that sense in me that what I am doing is great. That what I have to offer you is super amazing, because that is infectious, right? So the first thing, and when you are happy from within, when you have this energy from within, it's infectious. You can really infect the other person. You can come in and they can sense it. And the second thing is have a process. So while of course goals are important, targets are important, I would look at it the other way. Have a process. So say, okay, if I'm in sales, every day I will reach out to so many people. For example, the simplest thing, for example, my son is there. He wanted to sell Rakis.
Okay.
He was 4 years old. 4 years old. He enjoys selling. So there's somebody in our building who made Gobar Rakis.
Oh wow.
Rakis made for your international audience. Rakis made out of cow dung. Rakis are those things you tie on your hand.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so if you have an international audience, or so made out of cow dung, gobar cow dung. Now, for somebody, you tell him, go and sell something which is made out of cow dung to tie on your hand. It might seem a tough sell, right? But and he had a box. He had a box of Rakis because our neighbor wanted to give part of this to charity.
Mm-hmm.
So he struck a deal. He says, I will keep 50%, and 50% I give you. You can give it to charity. So he gets the product. And the process is simply he'll just approach everybody outside school. He'll just go approach. He'll approach everybody in the building. Just go ring their bell. Hey, do you want a Raki? Hey, do you want a Raki? Hey, do you want a Raki? Now, everybody won't say yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But if you figure out that, okay, if I do building 2, building 3, building 4, eventually you will start hitting your targets. So now the challenge is people are only looking at their target. Look at the process. So the process I need to follow is from morning I will do so many calls. I will do so many meetings. Now, and when that happens, you are also not desperate. Sometimes salespeople are very desperate.
Okay.
Because they are looking at only one. But if you do these, and also it builds your confidence. Like once you have made 4 calls, the 5th call, you're more confident.
Yeah.
So I think their processes, they are also techniques like visualization techniques, which I love using. Or again, you can use a lot of, there are strategies also. So there are strategies which you can, before you go, you figure out what they want. There are many strategies, but also visualization. Like if you visualize yourself practicing and you enjoy the process of practicing. And also, I think sales is something you need to enjoy. Uh, because even there have been times when I don't have a lot of money in my pocket. I've got like 80 rupees in my pocket and I want to make money, but I enjoy the process. So I go out, I pick up a product, I approach people. And also you shouldn't have an ego, because an ego really slows you down. Because if I have an ego in my head, I won't ask you, hey, do you want to buy this? Hey, do you want to do this? So ego slows people down. So get rid of your ego. Sales is very, very, it goes very in line with the spiritual practices. Because if you get rid of your ego, you can ask people for help. You can ask them, can I help you? You can even offer them cigarettes.
Very interesting. No, and you rightly put it on point. Unfortunately, many sales organizations and sales team members just focus on numbers, which is the outcome. They don't enjoy the journey, which is the process. And if you are able to, and what you just rightly said, if you enjoy the journey, which is the process, and keep enhancing it and keep doing it and being consistent with it, the outcomes will come. But focusing on the outcomes and not thinking about the input, which is the process, it's not going to yield any outcomes. And you also mentioned one thing, which is the belief on the particular product. Now, if I don't believe in a particular product, even if the process is good and I follow the process, I will still not be able to sell it. So, I want to double click on this second point, which is how does someone really bring in belief in a product or a process, like cigarettes or cow dung Rakhi, right? How do they bring in belief?
No, cow dung Rakhi, my son believes in it.
Yeah.
Because it's good for the environment, it's eco-friendly. Cigarettes, I believe, I don't smoke as I told you, but I believe this is a cigarette, it's a brand, it's as a brand, it's okay brand, it's a good brand. And this guy is a smoker.
Yeah.
It's like if you're selling alcohol, Blue Label whiskey, for example, or Johnny Walker Black Label whiskey, would be a easier sell than something that is homemade, like illegally made, moonshine liquor. That would be a tough sell, right? So, so I don't drink alcohol either, but I'm assuming. I've sold alcohol too, but so these are like back in the day stuff I used to do. But belief comes in a couple of ways. One is, you use the product. I think that's, if you can use the product, you can experience the product. For example, for our programs, we let people experience the product and then they can go out and sell it. Another way to bring in belief is also by reading up more. So, for example, there was a time a developer had approached me. And this developer wanted us to develop some of their programs for their teams to sell. But I did not believe in the developer.
Okay.
Because this guy was selling the same apartment to 3 people.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Not an ethical guy. And he wanted us, Yogesh, come, develop our programs, help us sell more, bring in the energy. But we refused, because, what this guy was doing was not ethical. So I did not want to do it. So we refused this guy. Now the guy is in jail.
Thank God. Thank God he's in jail. If he's selling a property to 3 people.
So don't do those type of stuff. Don't. There are many good products you could sell, and get in alignment. Even if you're an employee, it's very important you work for a company which is ethical, because it becomes easy to sell, right? If I'm selling something ethical, sometimes we make mistakes, but if you are an ethical organization, you say, let me help you out. Let me give you a refund. How can I help you? I learn, from our mistakes, we can learn. But if the organization is not ethical, they'll try to brush it away. They'll try to hide it. They'll try to, So check out these a couple of things, experience the product, find out, learn about it, because it becomes easy to sell, and you're selling for the long term. If we are having an interaction or any, we work with companies, for example, so many companies, uh, we want it to be a long term association, and always think how you can help the other person. I think the easiest way to sell is think, okay, what can I do for the other person? Uh, I mean, even my books, you see the books,
Yep.
it says #1 bestseller. They have
Mm-hmm.
typos. My first book has typos. It has grammatical errors. But I was too excited. I said, no, let's. I told the publisher at CNBC, I said, no, we got to get this out. The message is great. Even if my language is not great, it doesn't matter. I'm giving you directions. So what if my language is not great?
Yeah.
I've spoken to Italians without speaking Italian. I speak to people, So I remember when my book came out, first book, I was 23. Again, it happened. I was doing a couple of good things. A book came out, and I said, I want to help. I want to reach more people. So I said, okay. And as I told you, I think like a kid. And
Mm-hmm.
when you think like a kid, you don't have a lot of inhibitions. I think meditation makes you that way. So I said, okay, couple of things. So I wrote to airlines. Airlines were launching in those days, 2008.
Yeah.
New airlines were launching. So I wrote to all the airlines. And I remember first writing to Kingfisher. I wrote to
Wow.
Kingfisher because they had good models in the billboards. I said, they probably, So I wrote to them. I met their CEO in their office. They didn't have any models or anything. But I met their CEO. I said, I have this great book, Invest the Happionaire Way, and I would love it if you could sell this on your plane, and we'll do a revenue share.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do a revenue share. You'll make money. I'll make money. I'd written in my email, I have a great idea which can help you grow your business, make more money. And he replied, so I met him, and he said, Yogesh, we have never done this before.
Okay.
And I said, yeah, but if the Wright brothers had thought this way, we wouldn't have your airline. And I think he got offended. He didn't like it, but he said, no, we can't do it. I said, okay. I wrote to a second airline called Jet Airways.
Yeah.
Same thing. The CEO told me the same thing. Yogesh, we have never done it before. I told him the same thing. If the Wright brothers had thought that, we wouldn't have Jet Airways. He also got offended. We didn't do a deal. Then I wrote to SpiceJet.
Okay.
I told you, it's a process. It's a process. There's so many airlines in the world. And SpiceJet said, okay, let's start off. Let's start off with a couple of thousand books. And that became the highest selling book in the world, selling at 40,000 feet. And no competition. So people would go in the airline, pick it up. And, we had a lot of fun. And I think sometimes you have to be open-minded. Look at what happened to Kingfisher and Jet Airways. Shut down. Not because they didn't take my book. Maybe because they didn't take my book. I don't know. But you have to be open-minded. So we sold a lot of copies on plane, So sometimes just having fun with it, doing stuff. We sold to L&T, So I wrote to Mr. A.M. Nayak. I went and met him. So I think just having fun with the process.
Okay.
And
Yeah, but how do you build these processes, right? Like what you're just talking about, the airlines, the companies.
Very simple. Very simple. You take an idea, you take a product, like the Gobar Rakhis, right? You take a product, you approach people. So simple. You take a product, approach people who you think will need the product. Cigarette, stand on the street corner, the guy smoking will need a cigarette. So it's very simple. You take the product, approach the person who needs the product. Just take the product, pick up a product, right? Okay, why L&T? Because they have 50,000 employees and their employees can benefit from this book. It's a great book. And also, again, it comes to your self-belief. It comes to your self-belief. I approached him, he said, how many copies should I buy? I told him, sir, Mr. Nayak, how many employees we have? He said, we have 40, 50. I said, you should buy it for all. If you have 2 kids, will you give food to one kid and not to the other?
Nice one.
You wouldn't. So he started laughing. He connected me to somebody, who handles it. He didn't buy 50,000 copies, but he bought a lot of copies, So, I think just having fun and not caring too much about rejection. So what,
So this is the point. And, I saw one of your videos where you talk about that you were doing door-to-door selling. and people would slam doors on your face.
Yeah, yeah,
People have left dogs behind you,
yeah.
and you found a way to get over those dogs by having cookies in your pockets.
Yeah.
And you know, you were bold enough to overcome rejections and find ways around rejections. But I see it. A lot of people get dejected. Even I get dejected. If I have lost $1 million deal or multi-million-dollar deal, I get dejected. So how do you overcome rejections? Because rejections are part of life and
Yes,
part of the sales process.
rejection is a part of life, and that's why you need to enjoy it.
Okay.
You need to be playful about it. So those the guys who left dogs behind me, I carried dog cookies, but now I'm very friendly with dogs. I love dogs. If I see a dog, the other day I was walking on the beach. This there's a Rottweiler. I just looked at it, smiled. It started wagging its tail. It came. I started petting it, and the person with the dog, she was telling me, she says, he's very ferocious. But I said, no, I'm friendly now, friendly to the dogs. But I think again, coming back, your spiritual process helps a lot. So, for example, I read the Gita,
Mm-hmm.
and one thing in the Gita is, it's happening on the battlefield, and Arjun is confused, wherein Krishna is telling Arjun, that you simply do your dharma, do what you're meant to do. What will happen next is not in your hand. Similarly, I do what I'm meant to do. Now, how you react to me, whether you like me, whether you not like me, is not in my control. So if it is not in my control, why should I get also not accepting the first no? So many times people say no. I say, okay, that's great. You're free to say no. But why are you telling me no? Educate me. How can I make it now? How can I make this no now? Guide me. You are my guru. Help me out. Like, what is there in my proposal? I'm pitching you AI. I'm pitching you software. What is there in this? How can I make it now? And that W is a winning mindset. So not accepting no immediately. Just ask, okay, why are you saying, am I that bad? Am I that bad a person? Because and when you strike a friendship, when the other person feels nice with you, they'll tell you, what, Yogesh, it's great, but I don't think you have this feature. Your competitor has this feature. For example, they have this module. You guys don't have this. I said, it's great. You told me we can develop this module. You can guide me with your problem. We can customize it for you. Yes, we don't have it, but I can customize it for you. Or they'll say, Yogesh, the price is too high. I said, okay, the price is too high, but too high compared to what? Can you educate me more? What do you mean by this? And you take them on a journey. And usually it's not, you educate them, okay, if you're buying a meal, let's say you want to take your wife out for a dinner. Will you take her to the cheapest place, or will you take her to a place where the food quality is good? What if I offered you a dinner to a place which is super cheap, but she risks food poisoning? Would you do it?
No.
So, then you take them on a journey. Say, this is, I'm not saying the other guy is going to give you food poisoning, but this is what it is. We are great quality. Check out our customers. Speak to them. I know we are more expensive than the other guy. I know that. But why don't you check? Why do you think we are more expensive? Check it. So, you have fun with it. And like anything, you practice it. Anything is a science,
Yeah.
If you practice it, you build that muscle. So your muscle to communicate, your muscle to persuade, gets built by that. And again, I look at sales. I have an acronym for sales. It's smile and love everyone sincerely. Sales, smile and love everyone sincerely. I apply that to life. If you smile and love everyone sincerely, you help people. In business happens, good things happen. I get to meet good people like you. You invite me, I no longer need to knock your door and say, please call me for an interview. Just too good.
Now, that's an amazing acronym, sales, smile and love everyone sincerely. Wow. That's an amazing.
We trademarked it. So if you want to use it, you have to give us a license fee.
Sure. No, I'll give you royalty. Don't worry,
I
not
know,
license.
Sure.
Yeah. No, this is amazing. No, and I look at the other side, right? While we are all salespeople, and you and I are salespeople at heart, and we are having this conversation, but the other side today, when you say I know a lot of people don't like to be called as a salesperson because there's a stigma. That's why you would find in organizations people actually changing the acronym from sales to many other things.
They do that. They call them medical representatives, consultants, prime ministers, presidents, spiritual leaders, whatever you want to call it. It's okay. I mean, it's great. You should. But doctors, everybody, artists, movie stars, everybody is selling. You don't have to. I mean, there's nothing to be ashamed of.
Hmm.
As long as you're doing some, if you're selling a property to three people at the same flat to three people, yeah, you got to be ashamed. But if you're doing something ethical, you're solving problems, you're changing the world. I mean, because of somebody who sold me this laptop, who sold you the mic, who sold you the headphones, we are able to have this conversation. Because somebody is out there selling, you get breakfast on your table, you have manufacturing going. Any job, anybody who is working today, right? You might be anybody in a job. If
Yeah.
somebody in the company is not selling, you won't have that job. Your school fees are being paid by somebody who's selling, right? Your kids' school fees, everybody. You're selling a service, you're selling something, so what's it to be ashamed of? You got to be proud of it.
How big is your team?
My team is, we have 5 people. And
How
we
do
love, we love to sell. We love to do what we do, yeah.
yeah, no, that's great. And now when you are trying to sell your own services or your own solutions, right? I'm sure you are not involved on a day-to-day basis, your team is, but what you are doing is this company is built around you as an individual, rather than a product or a service. This company is built around Yogesh Chabria. It's built around his perspective, his experience, his thought process. How do you instill that in your team, that they are able to live Yogesh and talk the language of Yogesh?
So, I mean, the thing is, a couple of good things, I'll share it with you. The first thing is, whoever is approaching our team, has already experienced something. So either they have experienced a book, they have experienced a program. So it is not, I'll tell you, in fact, all great products are like that. Let us say, for example, which phone are you using?
iPhone.
You're using an iPhone, okay? An Apple iPhone, for example, you are using an iPhone, for example. Now, didn't you decide to purchase the iPhone even before you met the salesperson in the shop or went online?
Yes, I did.
And why did you do that?
Because of its features, its ease of use, the ecosystem, all of that. Right?
More than the features, more than the ease of use, it is an emotional connect. Even if there is exactly a same phone with the same features made in the same factory, let's say I take a same phone, same factory, but instead of the Apple logo, it has mango, for example. More expensive. Mangoes are more expensive.
Yes, they are.
But
And
still,
that's the season right now.
Yeah, say it's the season. Check out the mango. But still, I am sure you will buy the apple, you will not buy the mango. The reason is because emotionally, you have created a bond with the feelings, with the emotions. When you buy the iPhone, it's not the features you're buying. When you buy iPhone 14 or 13, or you change your iPhone, you're getting those emotions of creativity, of joy, of all those emotions you're getting. It's the same with us. When you are, say, inviting me as a speaker or going through our programs, it's the emotion. It's the feelings you have experienced, so it becomes very easy to sell. So in fact, we don't push. We don't push at all.
Okay.
Even though they can't leave dogs now, through the phone, when they call you, they can't leave dogs. But that's the thing. And the second thing is, everybody who's on our team has been through our programs. So before they join us, they have actually paid to be through our programs.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So they
That's
have
nice.
experienced the program, So because I don't hire anybody till you have not experienced what we do. Because we are not a corporate, right? We are not a corporate. We don't have shareholders. We don't have to answer anybody. I don't even look at us as a company. We look at ourselves as a movement. So when you join us, you have to truly believe. You have to truly believe whatever you're doing. Because only if you believe, you can convince the other person, and so, for example, let's say somebody is creating our video or our landing page or anything. That person has to truly believe. And only if they truly believe will they go outside their comfort zone to do what's meant to do.
No, that's very interesting. And, many organizations today fail to bring in this people before they even join to live the life of a person, like what you're saying, like come and experience the product or the service before even they start selling. And
Yeah.
that's a very interesting perspective.
And get them to pay for it. When you get them to pay for it, they value it because they have already paid, right?
Okay,
If
that's
you have already, if you have already paid for something, you have purchased it, you have been through it, it has given you something, it has helped you become more confident, it has helped you be happier, it has helped you in your life. You can, of course, share about it better.
that's good. That's great. And there are a lot of individuals like you who are now building a company around them. Like, there are many famous people right now in India and internationally.
Cool.
And I'm sure they will be taking a lot of leaf from what we've just discussed. But, you spoke about landing page and videos. Now, being an individual who's building a company around himself, how do you ensure that you don't get overburned with everything what you're doing right now? Because if the company is you and the product is you, the service is you, you don't burn yourself down, because then
No, I actually, Anish, for example, I'll give you an idea. For example, let us say I told you about landing pages, or you saw some of our programs, right, on our website.
yes.
You saw our sales program, sales mastery system. Now, sales mastery systems is a 30-hour program.
Wow.
It's a 30-hour program where I got all my experience on sales, and it's a lot of fun. It's like 30 hours of fun. But so everything, rejection, everything, check it out. I think it's a great program. You should check it out.
I will
But
definitely.
that program came about because of the pandemic. Now, during the pandemic, locked at home, you can't do anything. All I would do is sit for an hour every day, put in a phone. It's not even shot on a professional camera. It's just shot on a phone, me speaking on a phone. It's a little blurry. I said, so what? We put out 30 hours of, 30, it's a 30-hour program. Everything there is, how do you handle rejection? How do you get customers? How do you, scale up? How do you upsell more? How do you establish a relationship? How do you establish a rapport? How do you reach out to people? How do you become, so it's a 30-hour program. Recorded, done there, 30 minutes, 1 hour every day for 30 days, you have a program. And it's right now on the website. Right now, as I speak to you, somebody might be buying it. So it frees me up. I don't have to be personally there. And technology has given us that.
So how much technology do you use in your sales process today?
It's very simple. These are very simple technologies. You put it up on a website, people swipe their card, pay the money, get the product finished. So 20 years ago, this would have seemed very complicated. You would have to hire teams and software. But today, it's like you have such simple software, subscription-based software. Anybody can afford it. You set up these systems. You could be doing anything, but these systems are working. It's like buying a property and giving it on rent. So for example, we have books. I have books. So we create the book. It goes out there. We have the publishers, the distributors who take care of it. Some of our content is licensed. We licensed it to platforms like cuckoo.fm is there.
Okay.
We have licensed our content. So you create the content, you create the asset, and it frees us. So I don't. I know some people do those every day. They do a program every weekend. They do a program. They do a free program. I don't do any of that. If I do a program, it's paid.
Nice.
The company calls me, they have to pay. Because when you pay, you value it more. So it's very simple. So that frees up a lot of my time.
So I'm sure you've seen this movie, The Wolf of the Wall Street.
Yes, I've seen that movie. Yeah.
And can you sell the pen to me, right? And that's how it all starts.
Yeah.
For you as an individual, what is that testament for a great salesperson?
I think just the ability to detect, what need needs to be fulfilled. So detecting what's a challenge, detecting what need needs to be fulfilled, and then aligning yourself with that need.
Okay.
There's this joke, right, where they say, can you sell a comb to a bald man? And I'm not saying this because of you.
No. I still have facial hair, so I know,
but I'm not saying this. You shouldn't get offended. That
I'm not. I'm
not. So now the thing is, only a fool will sell a comb to a bald man first. If you want to sell, don't sell a comb to a bald man. Because that's a small sale, right? A comb will cost how much? $1, 50 rupees, 100 rupees, right?
Yep.
What you should do, if you really want to sell to a bald man, the first thing is, tie up with somebody who does hair transplant. Tie up with somebody who does hair transplant. Create that desire in that bald man. That, hey, would you like to have some great hair? If you have great hair, you will feel young, you'll feel energized, women will be attracted to you, you might get a role in a movie. So create that desire. Now, all bald men will not want that, right? But if
Yep.
you should take this message to 100 bald men, probably 10, 20, 30 will like it. Now, take him to the hair transplant doctor, sell the hair transplant service, get a commission from that doctor. But now, once you have sold that hair transplant, your business start. Now sell him hair conditioner, aloe vera for the head because he's done a surgery, hair dryers, styling treatments, all those things, hair gel, hair oil, moisturizer, shampoo, and put him on a package because now every month he has to buy those products. So that's what I look at sale, and he feels happy, right?
Yeah.
Because he feels good, and now that's how you do a sale. So don't sell a comb to a bald man because that's unethical. Give him a comb free, and after you've done it, gift him a comb with your logo on it. Enjoy the comb, gift it to him for free.
And in that process, you've actually sold so many things and you've earned more than just selling a comb.
You won and you've solved this problem, but if you unethically try and sell him a comb and lie to him, tell him use this comb hair, that's not ethical.
Yeah, it's all unethical. No, interesting. Now, where does your company go next? What is the grand vision of Happionaire Way?
So our vision is, we want to reach more people internationally
Okay.
with our programs because I see, this conversation we had was largely on sales. I love sales, but I feel a major challenge these days people are facing is a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, I meet people, they have done well, so like I speak at the IITs or, they have gone, they have studied at the IIT, they worked very hard. They went to a good MBA school, Stanford or Harvard. They ended up at a good company, Morgan Stanley or Goldman Sachs. But along the way, so they're making well financially, they're doing well. But along the way, they say, is this all there is to life? And I personally had a similar journey too. So when I was 28, doing well financially, but I had a blackout.
Yeah.
I collapsed.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Coming out of a meeting, I just collapsed. I fell down, opened my eyes, blood is dripping down my head. I'm with somebody and rushed to the hospital. I've been married 2 years ago to my girlfriend. Now she's my wife. She comes in. When she's coming to the hospital, she's so stressed. She bangs her car. But she lands up, the doctor does tests, all sorts of tests. He says, you have to wait for the reports. The reports come. And he says, you have high cholesterol, high BP, anxiety, a list of things. And I sit, I think, and I still think this, I start popping those pills, but I still think something is not right. And again, after a week, 10 days, I fall and my right side is in cast and I'm forced to bed rest and I hate bed rest. I hate lockdowns too.
Oh, wow.
I don't like lockdowns a lot, but we make the most of it. That's why I created sales mastery systems. But
Yeah.
and I ask myself a question. I keep my phone away. Why is this happening to me? And I figure out the reason is because for the past 2-3 years, I used to meditate, but in that 2-3 year duration, I had stopped meditating. I'd been recently married. I left many of my things. I'd focused only on work.
Mm-hmm.
And I had not focused on my health. When I would sit at my dinner table, instead of speaking to my wife, my friends, my loved ones, I would be on my phone. I said, this is what it is. So the first thing I did is I tossed away all the medicines. I took all the medicines and threw it away.
Wow.
I wanted to send a mental message to myself. And I said, I have to change everything. So I started meditating. I started practicing yoga. I started going out. I reduced my work time. I said, no, you need to bring in systems. And it changed a lot of things for me. And I think that's a challenge many people face, loneliness, all these things. So I want to take our message to more people and share this message with them. That there is more to life just than work. You can do a lot more in life than just work. You are more than just what you're working. And life is a gift. Let's make the most of it. Let's be kind to each other. Let's love each other. I would like to take world leaders, every world leader, if I could get every president or future president, make them go through our program. I believe we can stop wars. I believe we can stop conflict. We can discuss it. We can argue. We can laugh. But we don't really need to bomb kids, women.
Yes.
And when I was young, when I told you I went to Iran, my parents were there during the war. When I landed there, it was just after the war. There was red tape on the windows. And I asked my dad, he said, because 2 months ago, bombs would fall. And when a bomb falls, glass shatters. And a bomb had dropped on the school.
Oh, wow.
And I found the school. And human beings, we don't need to do that. Why do you need to drop a bomb on 5-year-olds on a school? But that's what war does. It takes away our humanity. And I believe if more people at a younger age, realize this, we don't need wars. We could solve so many global problems. We have everything. I mean, we have everything. Every single thing you want, we have it. Just that the resources are not going in the right direction. So I think these are my areas of interest, which I'm fascinated by, and we grow. So as you grow, I mean, sales is fun, it's good, but it doesn't give me the same excitement it used to give me earlier. Now when I see somebody saying, okay, this really worked for me, this changed, or I discovered something, I feel happy. I think that gives a lot more satisfaction.
Nice. Now, mental well-being and emotional well-being is becoming an epidemic, more so than anything else right now. And it needs arresting. And people like you, if you are on that path and helping individuals get happier and be at peace with what they have, I think that will be definitely. And, I'm a proponent of technology, but technology has made us aloof. The loneliness issue, which is there.
Yeah, and Anis, nowadays I see people, they're chasing so many things. Maybe 30 years ago, people were chasing money or power or fame. Today, people are chasing likes or comments or,
Likes and dislikes.
On, how many followers do you have? Or, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Do good. Even if you're doing good only for 10 people, only for 20 people, as long as you're doing it with honesty, you're doing good. Gradually things grow. It's like if you plant the seed, right? I love nature. If you plant the seed will not grow in a month or 2 months. It won't become a tree. You have to water it regularly, take care of it. After 5 years, 10 years, you'll start seeing the results. And that's the same. I think social media has created so much stress and anxiety in people. People are hooked onto it constantly. Billions of dollars go, in grabbing your attention.
Yes.
But it's if I'm going out to the garden, I see people, instead of enjoying the sun, they're taking photos. Not that I'm saying it's good or bad, but the joy of just looking at the sun, the joy of just looking at the moon or the stars. Yesterday, I was there at the park. It's a nice crescent moon,
Yeah.
I think for Ramzan.
Yes. It was a first day of the moon.
Yeah.
The day of the first.
The first day. So it was a nice crescent. I was just enjoying the moon and people are taking photos. And in my head, I'm thinking, no amount of technology can just capture the beauty of the moon.
Yes.
So just some of the simple things, you don't need to compare yourself. There'll always be somebody with more followers, more likes, more comments, more money, more fame, more everything. But you shouldn't. It's like a fish. If a fish compares itself with a bird, and a fish says, "Oh, that bird is flying so high, I can't fly," the fish will be unhappy. Similarly, if the bird compares with the fish, oh, the fish can swim so well in deep in the ocean. But we are all unique, so we should do what we are doing to the best of our capability.
How do you instill happiness? Because you are running a happiness company. How do you instill happiness?
So the thing is, we never give answers. I feel somebody asked me this, I said, you go to the airport, right? He says, how, I said, you go to the airport, right? We were doing this in Dharamshala. We were doing a 7-day retreat in Dharamshala. We had His Holiness Dalai Lama come also. So we just talking, in the night, we're sitting and talking. We had around 80 people. So he said, Yogesh, what do I do? I said, like you went to the airport, you were coming. There were so many flights, right? Did you ask somebody which flight you're taking, or you took your flight? He said, no, I took my flight. He says, because you had to come to this destination. And each one of us, at different moments, have different things we need to do. But what you need to do is be true to your dharma. And what is your dharma is what you're meant to do. It is like a lion. A lion is meant to hunt. A bird is meant to fly. A seed. A mango seed is meant to become a mango tree. A mango seed cannot ask directions for happiness from an apple seed, because a mango seed journey and an apple seed journey is different. But one thing, there are a few processes, a few things you could do. One thing is discover what you're meant to do. What you are meant to do, not what your father, your mother, your uncle, your neighbor who bought a new Mercedes Benz. None of that. Discover what you're meant to do.
How do you discover?
Just ask yourself. You have it within you. It's like a seed. How does a seed discover? Ask yourself. You know it within you. Deep down, you already know it. But external fears, external validation sometimes take you off the path. My wife, okay, she studied to be a lawyer.
Okay.
She never wanted to be a lawyer, but she still studied to be a lawyer because of external factors, whatever. External, whatever it is. But that didn't make her happy. But later on, she discovered something else and she went on that path. So we all go on different journeys, and sometimes making those mistakes also help us. I had to make that. At 28, I had to do those things. I had to have that collapse. I had to do those things because I experienced it better. So those things were meant to happen. I had to fall. So sometimes even that state of confusion is a gift. That state when you are asking, oh, what should I do? That is also a gift, because from that you will get your answers, and your answer will be your answer. Your answer will not be my answer. I can tell you do this, do that, but again, that is external.
Yeah.
It has to come from within, and within, deep down, you have it. Sometimes it takes courage. Because if you are going on a new path, a new adventure, you might be thinking of what will people think about me? Will people make fun of me? So many things, But at the end of the day, when you are 80 or when you're 90, when you look back and say, okay, I had an adventure. My life is an adventure. I made mistakes. I got hurt. I felt pain, but it was an adventure.
No, this has been a very interesting conversation, and as I said before we started doing this recording, that this is a selfish motivation of doing this podcast, and I've learned a lot. And thank you for sharing and being very open about the questions which I asked. Yogesh, it's been a truly a fun conversation, and I'm glad that I discovered you.
Me too. I'm glad I discovered you. Most things I would have told you. Even my credit card number, I would have told you. If you had asked me, I would have gone my wallet, told you my credit card number, because I have a very low credit limit. Very low. Probably if you used it, they would have come after you. They would be like, why don't you take more credit? What's the thing,
Yeah.
I don't take credit, that's the thing, I got a credit card because earlier you could do some online transactions only with a credit card.
Yes.
But somehow I don't like taking credit.
No, that's a good business ethics, I would say. Not doing anything on
They
credit.
charge a lot of interest. They charge so much interest.
Yeah.
In 20% interest or some crazy interest.
Yeah. No, Yogesh, thank you. I know it's taken much of your time. You're a busy person.
It's a pleasure, Anis. Thank you so much for your time. I could sense your energy. I think your energy is a lot more because you're fasting.
No, that's okay.
And I think also, like practices like fasting, very beautiful because they build resilience. In today's world, people are used to instant gratification. But if you want to be happy, move away from instant gratification, because that instant gratification doesn't give you happiness. You can watch Netflix, but after some time you get bored, you get sick of it.
I agree.
After 8 hours of watching Netflix in the night, you'll be sick of it.
I agree.
You can eat all the food in the world, but after eating too much, you get sick of it. So fasting has so much, spiritual significance. And if you can fast for 30 days, without drinking water, in the heat. Imagine what you can do. It's symbolic. Imagine what you can do. And imagine what human beings can do.
Yeah. No, and since you bought this topic and you, as I always say, you poked the bear, there's so much of misconceptions about mm, religions and all of that, right? And I'll take a minute. There is this word called
Really?
jihad, which has
Yes.
such a negative connotation today. Today, unfortunately gets used, but the true meaning of jihad is used in Ramadan, where you have a jihad with your own self, with your own
Yes.
inner evils, not external evils. That's not what jihad is all about. And this is what we go through during fasting. And it's not just we, every religion has a fasting process, and that's what it is. You're trying to curb your wills, your passions, or your, everything what you do in regular day-to-day life. If you do these religious and spiritual processes like fasting, really helps you understand who you are more than anything else. So no,
Absolutely. It builds your muscle. It builds your self-control. You are no longer a slave to your senses. You are no
yes,
longer a slave to your tongue. If not, and I mean, you can apply it every area of your life.
yes, it does. Now, thank you, Yogesh. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. I'm sure the listeners will be taking a lot from today, and I really appreciate you taking time out.
Thank you so much. Take care. Best of luck. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.